What's good, wrestling fans? It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, back at it again with another new edition of the definition of professional wrestling. It is the IE Wrestling Show, and I am, of course, your undisputed heavyweight champion of the podcast world. Ain't nobody better than the SoCal Saint. That's why I got the gold, and that's why you know I am the one above all wrestling podcasts. I hope you guys are tuning in to me live right now. We are live right now on Instagram. We are live on X. We are live on YouTube. And we are streaming live, just like last week, on my personal Facebook page. I'm glad that all the family and friends that I had that tuned in last week, hopefully I can have the same amount of support this week. It's going to be a great show, guys. We got a lot to get into. We got a whole lot to get into. I see you in the chat room. Look at that. Shout out to my boy, Ralph Calise, who is the host of the Yinzer Report right here on IE Sports Radio. I got to give my boy Ralph a big old shout out and a big old yeet. What's going on, brother? Thank you for tuning in once again. I really appreciate it, bro. I love it. I love it, man. Oh, look at, yeah, he wrote back. Can I get a daily yeet? Oh, I got to give him another one. Yeet. Oh, man. I'm so glad you guys are tuning in. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot going around, or at least a lot of news going around with the upcoming events with IE Sports. Well, there's actually a big thing going on with IE Sports Radio this week. Wow, I got a little tongue-tied because I'm thinking about wrestling and I'm thinking about the network. Because this week, if you've just been tuning in, we are doing something special this week. It is Heroes and Villains Week here on IE Sports Radio. And I made a comment on my official X page, which you can follow me on the X and on TikTok at the IE Wrestling Show. That's the handle, which is right here. There it is right there. Let me get my finger ready. There it is. Boom, right there. That's the handle. Follow me on TikTok and on X at IE Wrestling Show. IE Wrestling Show. And please follow IE Sports Radio on all these social media platforms here on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. That's at IE Sports Radio. And if you're not watching live right now, you can always check out the download later on today. You can watch, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon, Audible, Castbook, Deezer Podcasts, Deezer Podcast Addict. I got those two mixed up. Podchaser and Geo7. Those are all the other platforms that you can check out. All the great IE Sports Radio shows that are presented to you, such as myself, the IE Wrestling Show. You got 3 and Out with the head honcho of IE Sports Radio, Larry B. You got the Yinzer Report with my boy Ralph Calise. You got the Show of the Land with our girl Jen B. There's all these awesome shows that you can just jump into and just check out. And if you become a fan of what we do here on IE Sports Radio, check out our official website at iesportsradio.com. Go to iesportsradio.com and you can actually join for free. And you can have an account, a free account, and you can check out all the past and present episodes of every IE Sports Radio program that we have for you here under the sun of IE Sports Radio. You can interact with the members of the IE Sports Radio family in live blog postings and things like that. And if you really, really appreciate what we do here at IE Sports Radio, check out our merch shop at iesportsradio.com/merch and get yourself one of these bad boys, the official IE Sports Radio logo t-shirt. That's right, the IE Sports Radio logo t-shirt. We also have IE Sports Radio official logo tank tops. I know right now we're kind of out of the hoodies and hats, so hopefully soon we'll have some more of those. I'd have to, look into that more if you're more of a hoodie and hat guy. But if you really like what we do and you want to throw some shekels our way, this is probably one of the best ways to do it, is go into our IE Sports Radio official merch shop and getting yourself one of these bad boys, the IE Sports Radio official t-shirt. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Right there, the slogan right underneath our awesome IE Sports Radio logo. And like I mentioned a few moments ago, if you are becoming a fan of mine, if you want to check out some of my past episodes, go to my official page. That's on iesportsradio.com/ the IE Wrestling Show. So yes, that's all the ways that you can get in touch with us here at IE Sports Radio. And like I said here, just before I started giving you all that spiel, IE Sports Radio presents Heroes and Villains Week this week here on IE Sports Radio. And what better way or what better show to present that theme than the only professional wrestling show that's on the network? Because literally that is the definition of professional wrestling. It's heroes versus villains, or in wrestling terminology, it's baby faces versus heels. So, boom. I mean, I have a weekly episodic comic book right before my eyes every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you want to count AEW, and Friday with SmackDown, and then the big monumental team up event. You would say I guess you would call it the team up movie, the Justice League movie, or the Avengers movie of professional wrestling is always the big pay-per-views that come at the end of the month. So, and we're going to be talking about WWE's upcoming pay-per-views this week, WWE Bash in Berlin and WWE NXT No Mercy. But before we do that, I'm going to give you my full review of AEW's All In London 2024. So yes, that's what we're going over today here on the IE Wrestling Show. But we got to give a shout out to our official sponsors, of course, because they keep the lights on for us and they keep us doing what we're doing here for you, the loyal listeners. And they just make it a lot easier on us, the IE Sports Radio crew, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do this for y'all on a weekly basis every single day, pretty much. So shout out to Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky. This jerky's on a whole other planet. Ooh, yeah. I have tried it myself. It is delicious. Like I've said in many episodes past, my favorite flavor is, of course, the volcanic jalapeno. That's right, volcanic jalapeno. Man, that it has such a nice little like one of those it's one of those after kicks. You know what I mean? It's not super spicy when you first take a bite. I mean, you get it, but you feel it afterwards. Like after you're ready, finish chewing, it gives you that nice little kick afterwards. But it's perfect, and I love spicy food. So if you're a spicy food lover like myself, definitely order that, and you can go to planetjerky.net, and you can also follow them on Instagram, on their official Instagram page at Planet Jerky. Check out planetjerky.net for all your premium brisket beef jerky needs. And also, please give a shout out to another one of our official sponsors, Seal the Deal Wax Seals, which is actually a creation, an awesome creation by the lovely Mrs. Larry B. She is the head honcho's right hand person. That's his lovely wife. This is her creation. If you need something to just give you that nice little exclamation point on, like, say, your baby shower invitations or your graduation invites, you have a big party coming up, you have some work event that you're trying to invite your coworkers to, something like that, you just want to give it that nice little fancy, that nice little je ne sais quoi to it. This is what you want. Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And you can follow her Seal the Deal Wax Seals products on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax seals. And you can actually order them officially from the iSports Radio website at iesportsradio.com/sealthedeal wax seals. And we got some more heads in the chat room. We got Danny Mahan is now in the chat room. He's saying, of course, yeet. So yeet to you, Danny. I appreciate that. And, don't take my word for it on these awesome products of IE Sports Radio. Let's go ahead and actually check it out for ourselves. So if you want to actually learn a little more about planetjerky.net and Seal the Deal Wax Seals, let's hear from them officially right now.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back, guys, to the official IE Wrestling Show, the official professional wrestling podcast of IE Sports Radio. That was awesome tidbits from our official sponsors, Seal the Deal Wax Seals and PlanetJerky.net. Thank you for keeping the lights on for us. And that was our official little banner commercial for the whole network as a whole, IE Sports Radio. Follow us on X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok, guys, if you haven't already. So let's get into it. Let's get into All In. I'm sure a lot of people are waiting to hear what my opinions are of All In, which is, I guess, technically the biggest event in AEW for the year because it's their one and only stadium show for the year. Of course, They went back to London, England. They went back to Wembley Stadium for the second year in a row. No record-breaking numbers this time in terms of attendance, which is why I mean by this little tidbit here. Tarps are all elite. You know, there's always the picture of the new signee next to their name. It says like their name is all elite, and they have some stupid pose like, yeah, you know, I'm getting paid by Tony Khan, yeah, and they need to make one for this because the tarps were out. A lot of AEW marks and cultists during SummerSlam weekend had nothing but, you know, stupid things to say about the tarps being set out at the Cleveland Browns Stadium because there was a few. There's no denying that, but they were the majority filled, unlike Wembley, because Wembley had a lot of tarps. I wish I had a picture just to show y'all right here. It'd be like, boom, see, so you know what I'm talking about. Damn, that's unfortunate. I should have had a picture so you guys should actually see what I'm talking about. So you don't just like see it, listen to me and be like, okay, you know, SoCal Saint, we know you don't like AEW, but AEW is trying to like copyright ban a lot of those pictures that are popping up online of the tarps because there was a lot of sections. I mean, a lot of sections that had to be tarped off because they did not sell over 80,000 tickets. Over 80,000 tickets that they did last year. You know, it was damn almost less than half of what they did last year. If you believe the inflated numbers from last year's Wembley event, all in London, the first one, and the atmosphere for this one, it definitely wasn't like last year's. You know, like even last year, I was still giving AEW a chance. I even, my buddy, a former co-host of mine here on iSports Radio, Matt Petrushka, he actually purchased the pay-per-view. Me and him split it, and we watched it. You know, for the most part, the show was, you know, it had its ups and its downs. But man, this year was so what's the word I want to say? Aura-less. It was very aura-less. You know what I mean? That's a word that's been bounced around a lot on the internet wrestling community lately, like talking about certain talents, like who is just, when you look at them, you're just like, ugh, like, you know, like there's no aura about them, you know, like they don't have that it factor when you see them, when they come out as just like crickets, you know what I mean? Just crickets, like nothing. They don't have this appearance about them. They don't have that swagger about them. They don't have that next big thing about them. You know what I mean? And the show as a whole, leading up to it and to the show itself, was definitely like that. Was definitely just no aura whatsoever. Let's get off with the pre-show. We'll go into the pre-show matches here. So the pre-show started off with. Oh, okay. So they only had one official match announced for the pre-show originally, and then of course Tony Khan had to, you know, get a little ahead of himself and add a few more matches to the pre-show because Tony can't help himself when he's booking a show. You know, like it has to be 5 hours long. It's got to be 15 matches. Yes. You know, after he, you know, he takes a big line of encouragement. Take that for what you will. As I sip my coffee and say that. The first pre-show match on the card, which was not announced ahead of time, was a 16-man tag team match. Jesus, is there even enough room on the ring for that? 16-man tag team match. I've never heard of such ridiculousness. A 16-man tag team. That just sounds so just wow. Anyway, okay, Tom Billington, the nephew of the passed away, I guess the late great in terms of wrestling, not as human beings, the late great Dynamite Kid, Kip Sapien, Rocky Romero, Kyle Fletcher, Leo Rush, who apparently is unretired for like the 6th time, and Action Andretti and the tag team known as Top Flight, Darius Martin and Dante Martin, with Don Callis in the corner, defeated Jay Lethal, Santam Singh, Anthony Agogo, Ari Davari, Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Marquand, and the Dark Order's John Silver and Alex Reynolds. The Dark Order's still around. Wow, okay. With Evil Uno and Sanjay Dutt in the corner. This 16-man tag team match lasted 11 minutes and 35 seconds. Did that match really need to last that damn long with that many people in the match? I mean, it just looked like a big old cluster. You know what? You know, a big old clusterfuck. You know what I'm saying? like what? It's just, oh man. Next match on the card, which was the only pre-show match that was initially promoted ahead of the event, was Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii getting the victory over Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway in a mixed tag team match. Per the stipulation of this match, Willow Nightingale can choose the stipulation for the CMLL Women's World Championship match that will take place at the next pay-per-view next month at AEW All Out between Statlander and Nightingale. That'll probably come tonight on Dynamite, because tonight is the first episode of Dynamite since All In. All In it was on the 25th. I didn't even say what day it was. It was this past Sunday, August 25th of 2024, live from Wembley. Next match, if you didn't get enough of the giant tag team match that you just witnessed with the 16-man, don't worry, Tony Khan had another for you. This time, a 10-man tag team match. The Von Erichs, that's right, the Von Erichs, the sons of the living legend, the only living brother of the Von Erich clan, Marshall and Ross Von Erich. They are 2/3 of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions. Sammy Guevara, 1/2 of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Kazuya Shibata and Dustin Rhodes, who is the other half of both the Ring of Honor 6-man tag and the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, with the Von Erichs and Sammy Guevara, with the legend himself, Kevin Von Erich, the master of the Iron Claw, the only living brother of the famous Von Erich clan from right here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Of course, if you're a wrestling fan from back in the day and you're listening to me live, you're one of my friends on Facebook or anywhere on X or Instagram or YouTube, you know how big of a deal the Von Erich clan is here in the Texas area. So Kevin Von Erich actually made an appearance on the AEW All-In pay-per-view. Defeated the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and Cage of Agony, Bishop, Khan, Brian Cage, and Toa Leone. The funny thing about this match that I thought was, I saw memes people were making about this, was the fact that Sammy Guevara and Brian Cage both were wearing Wolverine-inspired ring gear from, the recent Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And Dustin Rhodes even got involved because his ring outfit looked like Deadpool's, which I thought was really cool. Anyway, but it was funny that Sammy Guevara and Brian Cage, two guys on opposing teams, were wearing similar outfits. It's just that Brian Cage had tights and Sammy Guevara had, had the trunks. And then somebody went ahead and made a meme where they were both walking to the ring. And then it was an older episode of Family Guy. They used one of those cutaway scenes, and it was Peter and Lois wearing the same dress. And Peter goes, well, one of us has to change, I thought that was pretty funny, making fun of the fact that these two guys were wearing similar outfits and being on opposing teams. I thought that was kind of funny. Next match on the card, that was it. So Tony Khan stopped himself 3 matches into the pre-show, and then the pay-per-view itself actually started. And it kicked off with another multi-man match, if the fans weren't already, blown away by the first 2 multi-man matches, or first 3 because of the mixed tag. It was a 4-way London ladder match for the AEW World Trios Championship. Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club members Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta defeated the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne, the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson and Austin and Colton Gunn, the Guns, and the House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews, excuse me, by retrieving the championship belts and becoming the new AEW World Trios Champion. Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club becoming a weird partnership together. I guess the rumors might be true about Pac's members of the Death Triangle, which are the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix, and Penta El Cero Miedo, that apparently their contracts are coming up within the next month, and they may entertain coming to the WWE. That's the rumor that's been going around lately. So maybe that's why they stuck Pac with the Blackpool Combat Club instead of having the Death Triangle, in full force at this event. So it is kind of, maybe there's some truth to those rumors. You know what I mean? Next match on the card was the AEW Women's World Championship. Mariah May, the winner of the 2024 Women's Owen Hart Tribute Tournament, which got her this match against Toni Storm, was victorious. The match itself was pretty cool. I did get to actually watch this match in total. I thought this was the best of the women's matches on this card by far. And you'll hear about my thoughts on that later. This was definitely the one that all other matches had to live up to, and that's including the mixed tag match and the one that we'll get into here shortly. Mariah May and Toni Storm, they had an actual real story going into this. Mariah May turning on timeless Toni Storm, coming after this Women's World Championship. Mariah May, it seems like a throwback to like the Divas era. You know what I mean? The much maligned WWE Divas era where you had, more models than you had athletes in the ring. But the only difference is that Mariah May can actually hold her own in a ring. I mean, she probably still needs some polishing. That's beside the point. But she's got a lot of she's got a lot of talent. She's got a bit of a hot streak under her, especially since she previously was a part of the Stardom promotion out in Japan, which is, it's just like New Japan Pro Wrestling, but, for the women, and they hit just as hard as the men do. It's still that same Japanese strong style, where forearms are getting popped right into the neck and they're not really pulling any punches or kicks. So Mariah May, though she is, beautiful, she can hold her own in a ring when it comes to really getting down and dirty. You know what I mean? And she showed that here against Toni Storm, which neither one of them pulled any punches. She ended up winning the match after striking Toni in the face, I believe, with her heel. I think that's what it was. Yeah, with her heel. Toni was all bloody. Mariah May pinned her. 1, 2, 3. We have a new Women's World Champion. Got a big pop from the crowd. This was I felt like it was a little unfortunate that the Women's World Title was the second match on this card when I thought they had the better women's one-on-one women's feud going into this event. Like, this should have been a lot higher on the card. You know what I mean? Per the storyline that was going into it, I thought it was way more entertaining than the next singles women's match that we'll get into. Next match on the card, last chance match for the FTW Championship. It was Hook defeating Chris Jericho to become the new FTW champion. If Hook had lost, he would never have been able to challenge for the title again as long as Jericho was champion. Well, with his victory, that's not the case. Hook is now the champion. Jericho no longer champion. And another funny picture with, damn it, I wish I had picked. God, I'll have to remember this next time. Because people aren't going to believe me unless you actually search for it and look for yourself. When this match started, like when Jericho came out, Jericho was played to the ring by his real heavy metal band, Fozzy, playing his song Judas, and Jericho was singing himself to the ring. I think more than like 30, 40, maybe even more than that, but the picture I saw was at least 20 to 30 people got up and went to the restroom. It was the dreaded bathroom break during Jericho coming out. Jericho has now become so irrelevant to wrestling fans that he is now the pseudo bathroom break whenever he comes out to the ring. Who would have known that a wrestling legend who has clearly overstayed his welcome in this business is now the bathroom break of it all? And it used to be, the women's matches were the bathroom breaks, of wrestling shows, which is sad to say, but it's true. It's true. They've come a long way. Trust me, they have come a long way from what it used to be like in the Attitude Era and the Divas era. We should be grateful for the type of women's wrestling we have now, because they had to go through some crap to get to where we are right now. And that was always the joke, was that anytime the women were on, that's where you hit the concession stand. That's when you hit the merch table, or that's when you go to the restroom. And now Jericho finds himself in that same category because he has overstayed his welcome in this business. He is just a shill of his former self. Can he still go at his age? I guess so. I mean, he's in great shape for how old he is. He's in his early 50s, but it's just more of the same shit. It's just not, I don't know what happened to Jericho. Jericho used to be like the Madonna of wrestling. And I guess he kind of still is, because I guess Madonna still has overstayed her welcome as well in the music industry. And Jericho's doing the same thing when it comes to professional wrestling. So next match on the card, 3-way tag team match, the AEW World Tag Team titles. The Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, successfully defended their tag team titles against FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, and the acclaimed Anthony Bowens and Max Caster in a triple threat, a 3-way tag team match. And when you talk about auraless, look no further than the Young Bucks. These guys have no aura. They got no reaction when they came out, not even a heel reaction. And they thought they'd pull a reaction from the London crowd with their Beatles-inspired outfits when they came out. They looked like the Beatles on the cover of their album. Oh my God, what was the album? I think it was Yellow Submarine. They were trying to pull off the Yellow Submarine album look with their colorful attire. And it was, it was just not there. I cannot stand the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks, I would rather watch somebody getting a ingrown toenail removed than watch a Young Bucks match now. And I never thought I would say that, because I used to be a fan of theirs, but it's just like, if you watched one Young Bucks match, you've seen them all. That may be a hot take for some of y'all out there in the internet wrestling community. If you're a fan of the Young Bucks, that's cool. Do your thing, man. I'm not saying stop being a fan. For me, they suck. I'm over it. Every time they come into the ring, it's the same match. Like I said, you've seen one of their matches, you've seen them all. They do the same spots. It's just repetitive, over and over again. It's the same thing, same spots, same taunts, same everything. Nothing new, nothing ingenious, nothing intuitive, nothing. But don't tell Dave Meltzer that, because they're Dave Meltzer's favorite wrestlers, just like a lot of these guys are. Stupid tuna Meltzer. Ugh. See, look at that. I'm getting sick just talking about it. Next match on the card was the Casino Gauntlet match for a future AEW World Championship match. This is different from the Casino Battle Royal, where people come out in sections. You come out in, oh God, see, this is so confusing. They come out in sections, like, and it's based on, like, playing cards. Like, you're you come out in the set of spades, or a set of clubs, or a set of diamonds, and then you have the Joker's Wild, which is the Joker card in the deck, yada yada. This one, I guess, was similar. I'm trying to see what all the participants of that match were. So the participants of this match were Orange Cassidy, who was the only confirmed participant prior to the event. He was the first entrant. You had the Continental Champion, or the Continental Crown Champion. I forgot what the hell what belt it is. They have so many damn titles in this company. Kazuchika Okada of the Elite was in this match. Kyle O'Reilly, Zack Sabre Jr., which is the current G1 Climax winner, the second only foreigner to win the G1 Climax crown in New Japan Pro Wrestling, second to only the Best Bout Machine, Kenny Omega, who was sadly absent from this entire event, which is, you definitely felt his absence for sure. Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, the current Ring of Honor World Champion, Hangman Adam Page, Jeff Jarrett, Killswitch, Christian Cage, and we had two surprise entrances in this match. The first being Nigel McGuinness. If you're a classic Ring of Honor fan, he is a former Ring of Honor World Champion, Nigel McGuinness. He has been retired for quite some time due to a severe neck injury that a lot of people thought he would never, ever come back from. But lo and behold, he still looks great. He's still in ring shape, and he came back for this event in his home country of England and got a huge reaction from the crowd. He looked great. I will give him that. It was great to see Nigel McGuinness back in wrestling tights, back in a wrestling ring, even if it was for a short moment. I wonder if this is a one-off or we'll actually get another Nigel McGuinness moment or match. I would like to see before it's all said and done for Bryan Danielson, because his time in wrestling is coming to a close here really, really soon. He made that very, very clear during the All In media scrum after the event. But I would love to see him and Nigel McGuinness revisit their feud from Ring of Honor and have one more match with each other, if that's possible. That would be really great to see. And not only that, the other surprise, which was not really a surprise at all because it was spoiled by Sean Ross Sapp at Fightful 24 hours before that. So fans were kind of expecting it, as we kind of have already all been expecting that when his contract came up last month in WWE, and he chose not to re-sign with the company, but chose to bet on himself and become All Elite. Ricochet debuted in the Casino Gauntlet as just another one of these participants. I will say they gave him a very flashy entrance to try and say, like, look at kids, it is a big deal that Ricochet's here. And then 2 minutes later, he got eliminated, and it was nothing. It was just meh, just like that says, just meh. What a way to debut a former Intercontinental Champion, North American Champion, United States Champion. I feel like Ricochet had a great career in WWE. A lot of people be like, oh, you should have been a world champion. You know, not everybody can be world champion. Ricochet definitely does not have the mic skills that would carry someone to that main event spot, which is not, a lot of people don't have great mic skills. And I will say that there's a lot of guys who've been champion who haven't had the mic skills that they should. But I mean, that's beside the point. A lot of that was during the who era. We don't speak his name, Voldemort. So I'll just put that. They have, both their names start with a V. But, so Ricochet is now All Elite, and he's already fitting in just fine. If you follow Ricochet on social media, particularly X, he's already getting into the groove of being an All Elite wrestler by picking fights with random fans on social media. It did not take long, guys. He hadn't even been in the company a whole 24 hours before he started angry tweeting people on X. So I think he picked the right company to sign with. So, hey, man, get the bag. I hope you're getting paid by Tony Khan, because Tony Khan loves to throw the bag at anybody that comes out of the WWE. And, hopefully you make your money, and maybe one day you decide to, all right, I'll go back to the big leagues. Because, you showed up in a 50,000 seat or 50,000 ticketed event. It wasn't sold out because there was definitely more seats than 50,000 in Wembley. So just be forewarned, Ricochet. This will be the last time you see fans on the hard cam side in the majority of the arena, because you'll make your debut in front of a half-empty arena tonight on Dynamite when you go one-on-one for the first time with Kyle Fletcher. That was announced on social media by Tony Khan and Ricochet himself. So Ricochet, get ready to start having half-empty arena matches from here on out. So congratulations, buddy. Next match on the card. Oh, sorry. The winner of the Casino Gauntlet match was Christian Cage. So there goes Tony Khan again, pushing that young talent, that young whippersnapper Christian Cage in his late 40s, early 50s, winning a chance to become AEW World Champion for what, the third, fourth time He's had so many title matches in this company, I've lost count. Christian Cage, Tony Khan just loves to push that young talent, man. A lot of great young talent in that match, but he just keeps going back to the same formula. Let's push Christian Cage. Yes, he's going to get a world title match. Next match on the card was the AEW International Championship. At the time, it was known as the All-American Championship because of who was champion. MJF defended the All-American Championship, which then would be rechristened the AEW International Championship because Will Ospreay defeated him at Wembley. Big ovation for Will Ospreay in his home country. The fans ate it up when Will Ospreay defeated MJF to win the AEW International Championship for the second time. I will say this. It's really hard to enjoy Will Ospreay's matches. I mean, I think he is a great wrestler. I like MJF. I think MJF made a mistake by re-signing with the company. But that's neither here nor there. Will Ospreay, he's probably exactly where he needs to be because there's a video going around of the media scrum, and good old boy Dave Meltzer, AEW's biggest cheerleader, asked him a question, and you see him get excited like a kid on Christmas morning. Oh my God, it's Meltzer. It's Meltzer. Yeah, bruv. Yeah, bruv. It's Meltzer. Meltzer's here. The man who always gives me 5 stars. Yeah. Yeah, bruv. It was just sad. It was just so sad. And then you hear like Meltzer laughing in the background, like, oh, like a Japanese schoolgirl, like, like one of those anime characters, like, like, oh yes, I'm your biggest fan, and you're acknowledging me. It's so ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm not sure people aren't gonna like this review, but I could care less. I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it, guys? You can't look at that as a fan and be like, yeah, this is totally cool. I like this. Yeah, I love this. While you're, sitting in your computer chair with your Hot Pockets next to you and your, what are they? I don't know. I was about to say Big Red. Is that even? Yeah, Big Red. I was going to say Mountain Dew Code Red, but I guess Big Red works in its substitute. Next match on the card. See, this is what I was talking about. I would have swapped these two women's matches because especially the quality of this match was just, ugh. And that's why I put it as CEO hell no. CEO hell no. What the was that? Okay. Next match on the card was the AEW TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné successfully defended her AEW TBS Championship against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. And what a garbage match this was. Garbage. She got no reaction, Mercedes Moné did, with her stupid, that stupid CEO dance she does. It's so dumb. She is the most insufferable person in professional wrestling whatsoever. I tweeted about this on X or posted about it, whatever. I posted about this match and about her on X after this match. I said, there's a difference between being confident in one's abilities, being confident in yourself, having a self-confidence in yourself is a good thing. But then I also said, there's a difference in having self-confidence and having an overinflated ego of yourself. And that's what Mercedes Moné is. She's delusional. She has an overinflated ego of her abilities, of her position, of her basically her legacy in professional wrestling. Because if you ask her, she's one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. She's a legend in this business. She revolutionized women's wrestling. No, honey. That's not how this goes. You are one of 4 women, the 4 horsewomen. You guys did help bringing in a change to the WWE's women's wrestling style. You made it athletic again, but it wasn't all you. You had great matches with 3 great wrestlers a lot. Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Charlotte Flair. And that's about it. Because anybody else you were in the ring with You didn't have these banger after banger after banger. You didn't set the world on fire. You didn't revolutionize anything all by yourself. And the only thing you keep talking about is WWE versus AEW. She goes on the shame spiel that everybody else does that comes from WWE that goes to AEW. It's like Tony Khan gives them a bonus for how many times they can mention WWE in an interview when they're trying to talk about, AEW. WWE doesn't have to pay for publicity because AEW does all their publicity for them. How many times do you have to hear these other talents talk about the rival promotion? Hell, the owner of the company, the guy running the show, Tony Khan, talks about WWE just as much as his talent does. WWE doesn't even have to pay for promotion because they're getting free promotion from the competition. You don't see WWE doing that shit. You don't see Randy Orton talking about, AEW and Tony Khan and the guy like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, they're, AEW, they wish they were like us. They wish they had a guy like me on their roster, yada, yada, like that's the big difference, you don't hear, Cody has been very respectful when he definitely doesn't need to be, because, there's something there. There's something underlying there whenever he's asked about his exit from AEW. He has not spoken truly about that, but he's made comments where it's like he's inching closer and closer to revealing the truth. And it's not, it definitely wasn't a split that I would see him returning anytime soon. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? So, but you don't see WWE guys in interviews left and right talking about the competition. No, you're promoting yourself. You're promoting the company that you work for. What is so hard about doing that? And then to get into this match, it was just all over the place. A lot of blown spots, a lot of repeated spots because they didn't go over correctly. Her finisher, the Moneymaker, is just garbage. She needs to just stop that. It is not, it just looks ridiculous every time she does it. It doesn't look effective. It doesn't look like it hurts anyone. It's got to be believable. You got to suspend disbelief, and you can't with her. I feel like ever since she left the company, she's been exposed again and again and again and again. Every single time she gets in the ring outside of WWE, because she's outside of her comfort zone. She's outside of the business that, basically fostered her. She can't talk for shit. She can't cut a promo to save her life. And her wrestling ability has been subpar since leaving the company. So tell me, how does that make you a revolutionary women's wrestler, a legend in your own mind? Because that's exactly what she is. She is a legend in her own mind. No bueno. Next match on the card is the coffin match for the AEW TNT Championship. Jack Perry successfully defeated Darby Allin to retain the AEW TNT title. No aura. Another man with no aura whatsoever. No reaction, no aura, nothing. No reaction from the crowd whenever he won this match. Jack Perry is the drizzling shits. He sucks. He is awful. He can't talk. He is just aura-less. Nothing cool about him. And for him to keep referencing the fight, I don't know why he wants to keep referencing this fight that happened between him and CM Punk, because newsflash, you lost, dude. You got your ass you got put in a chokehold by CM Punk. Why do you keep revisiting this? Because during this match, he pulled out a bag of glass, poured it in the ring, and then said, "Cry me a river." And the fans were chanting, "Cry me a river," and fuck CM Punk. Like, oh, that's really cool. CM Punk is the most over wrestler in two companies. And AEW hasn't been the same since CM Punk left. The minute that CM Punk got let go, that was the beginning of the downturn that we've been seeing in this company. If you think that's not true, you are smoking crack. Okay, like you are smoking crack because the correlation between the two is undeniable. And then the biggest rating they had all year long was the episode where they showed the footage from AEW All In last year, where you see CM Punk push and choke Jack Perry, and that was supposed to get Jack Perry over. All you did was show that CM Punk is a draw for your company still, because it drew the biggest rating. That episode of Dynamite drew the biggest rating all year. And even CM Punk has acknowledged it. He's like, yeah, I'm the most over wrestler in two companies. That's cool. While he's having the feud of the year with Drew McIntyre on WWE television, rejuvenating his career in a way that AEW never could. And then Tony Khan has the nerve to get on the media scrum and say, like, I feel like we're in the best position this year. The AEW is at its best right now because certain people are no longer under contract here. Certain people are gone. They're not here. So now I think we're in a better spot now. Yeah, because you know why you feel that way? Because you could not be a boss. Tony Khan would rather be everybody's best bud, everybody's friend, and not do what needed to be done at the time to keep his biggest talent, his biggest draw, his biggest moneymaker, his biggest merch seller happy, keep him under contract. He and Punk knew the writing was on the wall prior to All In. After the whole brawl out fiasco, he told Tony, just pay me my money and let me go. I don't want to be here. These guys don't want me here. I don't want to be here if I'm not wanted. Just pay me my money and let me go. And Tony's like, I can't let you go. No. The solution is we're going to have a separate show. We're going to separate the rosters. You don't have to interact with them, and I get to keep you. And even Punk told him, like, that's not going to work. That makes no sense. And we are where we are right now in the world of professional wrestling. AEW struggling to fill an 8,000, 5,000, 10,000 seat arenas, and WWE is having sellouts after sellouts after sellouts, having the biggest year, storyline wise, financially wise. They have never been better. Tell me who's wrong. Now, this is the only thing that I could say that's positive about this event. The main event, title versus career match for the AEW World Championship. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, defeated Swerve Strickland to become the AEW World Champion. And this was the best match of the card. Did it save the entire pay-per-view as a whole? No. Oh, real quick, I forgot to mention, after the whole Jack Perry match, Sting returned to AEW for a quick little spot to save Darby Allin from being lit on fire. The crowd loved that, seeing Sting in the ring, so that was cool. Anyway, that was the only cool part about that whole match. Anyway, yes, Daniel Bryan and Swerve Strickland had a fantastic match. The crowd ate it up. The crowd was all in, no pun intended, on Bryan Danielson when he came out to Europe's The Final Countdown. I loved hearing that song. The crowd was singing it along with Bryan Danielson. And, man, these guys had a hard-hitting match. There was this really cool spot in the match where Bryan hit his running knee, and all it did was back Swerve up into the corner, and he no-sold it and then dusted off his shoulder from where he was hit with the knee. I thought that was a pretty cool spot. And then they had this really vicious spot on the outside of the ring right in front of Brie, formerly known as Brie Bella, and their two children. Because for those who have been living under a rock for the last 15 years, he's married to one of the Bellas, and they have two children together. Swerve was stomping on the face and head of Bryan Danielson right in front of his children and his wife, bloodying him up. I thought that was really vicious. It really showed this hot streak, this savageness of Swerve Strickland in the match. I thought that was a really cool spot. And then it came down to the LaBelle lock, and Swerve had to tap out. Bryan Danielson is the current AEW World Champion for the future of his career. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means he's sticking around till the end of the year, or if this was just like his swan song and he's going to relinquish the title tonight on Dynamite. I guess to find out, you'll have to watch Dynamite on TBS tonight. But that was I wouldn't say it's the saving grace of this pay-per-view, because the entire pay-per-view as a whole was meh. But this was definitely the highlight of a meh pay-per-view. Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland had a fantastic match. Definitely one of the match of the year candidates for sure in professional wrestling this year. I will say that. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. Let's hear from some of our other IE Sports Radio affiliates. And then when we come back, we're going to go through the cards for the upcoming WWE Bash in Berlin and NXT No Mercy, which are taking place this Saturday and Sunday this coming weekend. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
What's good, everyone? It's Drewski, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From where we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr. I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, thanks for that, guys. That was from It's Drewski, the host of the Heart of Texas Sports, and the Extra Mile with Daryl Kinsey Jr. right here live on IE Sports Radio. Thanks, guys, for that. Tune into their shows, guys. They are fantastic. So, coming up next, guys, we have for you the upcoming card for WWE Bash in Berlin. That's right, WWE Bash in Berlin will be coming to you live this coming Saturday, August 31st, from the Uber Arena in Berlin, Germany. This event will air via pay-per-view and live streaming on Peacock, and it will be WWE's first ever pay-per-view and live streaming event to be held in the country of Germany. Yes, in Deutschland. So these are the official matches, unless another match gets added this coming Friday night on SmackDown. I highly doubt it, because Triple H likes to keep the card, condensed for these smaller events, and then he makes the cards a little bit bigger when it's like the big four, like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. So, but this is the card right now. It is 5 matches announced for this event, and we're going to kick it off with this first match on the card. It is the Terror Twins versus Daddy Dom and Liv Morgan. That's right, the Judgment Days. Dirty Dominic Mysterio and the Women's World Champion Liv Morgan will go 2-on-2 in a mixed tag team match with the Terror Twins, the former World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, and the former Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley. And I've loved this feud since they went ahead and just they went ahead and shot their shot at SummerSlam. They pulled the trigger on these feuds, on Dirty Dom turning on Rhea, and Finn Balor and the Judgment Day as a whole turning on both Rhea and Damian Priest, costing Damian Priest the World Heavyweight Championship and costing Rhea the Women's World Title. They're looking for revenge, and it's starting with Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan. Hopefully, my pick for this match is definitely the Terra Twins to walk out with the victory. I don't see Damian and Finn touching each other anytime soon in terms of having an actual official feud. I feel like you could actually draw this out till WrestleMania. If it's booked right, you can have this be one of the big main event matches. One of the big main event matches for WrestleMania next year in Vegas, having Damian Priest and Finn Balor one-on-one. If they want to drag it out that long, I feel like they could do it. I mean, it's been possible. They've done it before with some other feuds, but this one, I don't think we get a Finn and Damian blow off anytime soon. I feel like Damian's going to go through the Judgment Day one by one. He's starting with Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and he's got his girl, his Terra twin, Rhea Ripley, with him, and they are going to be successful. There are my picks for the winners of this match. Next match on the card that was announced last week on SmackDown, the women's tag team titles will be on the line. The Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Ela Dawn, defend the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against the former champions, the women that they defeated for the titles at, oh my God, what was the pay-per-view that they won this match at? Oh, at Clash at the Castle. Sorry, lost brain fart. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Cargill and Belair getting another opportunity to reclaim the women's tag team titles that they never lost. They were never pinned to lose those tag team titles, as it was in the course of a three-way tag team match that they lost these titles to the Unholy Union. So the Unholy Union has an opportunity to show that if they can defeat the former champions, that they definitely deserve to be the women's tag team champions. I would like to see them continue on with their title reign. As much as I like Cargill and Belair, they are a great tag team. I feel like they need to start planting the seeds for the eventual turn, because I feel like in Vegas and Mania we're going to get Cargill and Belair one-on-one, but maybe it's too soon for that. Maybe we get a little closer into the fall before we start dropping those hints at a turn. Because I feel like Jade would be, while she's great as a face right now, I feel like her bread and butter is as a heel. So I think we will eventually get the Jade Cargill turning on Bianca Belair and eventually having their one-on-one feud, certainly in the near future. But for my picks for this match, I got to go with Dawn and Fire retaining the women's tag team titles. Next match on the card is the undisputed WWE Championship. One-on-one, the American Nightmare. Check it out. I'm repping him right here on my shirt. This is one of the official Cody Rhodes t-shirts. Yeah. Badass, right? The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, defends the undisputed WWE Championship against the prize fighter, Kevin Owens. One-on-one in Bash in Berlin. These guys going one-on-one with each other. This is a match that's not stemmed in bad blood, not stemmed in some sort of betrayal, nothing like that. But they have been planting this idea that you can't trust Kevin Owens, especially Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, who've kind of been shoehorned into this little match to create some sort of story with it, because Cody gave this opportunity to Kevin Owens willingly. Kevin Owens didn't win like a tournament or anything like that. He wanted to give his buddy an opportunity to become the undisputed WWE champion once again, which at first Kevin Owens declined, but against his better judgment, I guess he accepted the title match after Cody Rhodes would not take no for an answer. And they had this nice little video package play last week on SmackDown during the Grayson Waller effect, where Rhodes and Owens were guests on, where Waller showed all the instances of Kevin Owens' betrayal when he turned on Sammy in NXT. He turned on Kofi Kingston when he was an honorary member of the New Day, where he turned on Sammy again before Sammy went to join the Bloodline. You know, like all these instances of him just being an all-around, piece of crap. and Kevin Owens, he said, I felt bad about turning on Kofi. I'll apologize for that, but all the other ones, they deserve that. So I thought that was kind of funny. But we'll see if Kevin Owens sticks to his good guy shtick by the end of this match. I'm picking Cody. I definitely don't see Cody losing the title anytime soon. Cody's going to be walking into Mania with the championship unless things change before then. But my money is on Cody defending the title next year in Vegas. So Cody Rhodes is my pick to win this match. Next match on the card, which is definitely one I am looking forward to, it is Gunther versus Randy Orton 2. This time it's for the World Heavyweight Championship. The new World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General Gunther, will be in his backyard. He's not from Germany, but he's right next door from Austria. Will be defending his World Heavyweight Championship for the first time on a pay-per-view event against the Viper, the legend killer, Randy Orton. This is an awesome opportunity. I love the way storyline-wise they explain this because Randy Orton is a SmackDown contracted superstar. Gunther is a Raw contracted superstar. And this was a agreement between Triple H, Adam Pearce of Raw, and Nick Aldis of SmackDown to have this match come together because of the way that their King of the Ring tournament final match ended, where it was very disputable that Gunther even won that match because Randy Orton's shoulders were not all the way on the mat when it was counted down to a 3, which is cool how like a mistake like that becomes a storyline. It's like Triple H is smart enough to take a mistake and bring it into the forefront to say like, hey, we can't ignore that because it was clearly on camera. So this is how we're going to explain it away. And this is the result of that explanation. That's how you book a smart wrestling show, guys. That's how you book. Okay. You got to make everything make sense. And Triple H is of a sound mind where he's making sense of this. And we're getting a second Gunther and Orton match, but this time it's for the World Championship. If Randy Orton is to win the world title, he will now become a part of the Raw roster, and Gunther will be transferred to SmackDown in his place. But if not, Gunther will retain the title, and Randy will head back to SmackDown, no questions asked. And my pick for this is going to be Gunther. I love Randy. I'm a big fan of Randy Orton, have been for so many years. But Gunther is early on in his world championship reign, and I don't see it ending anytime soon. I got Gunther. My money is on the Ring General. And what I feel like should be the main event, if it's not Gunther and Orton, will be this match. The strap match. One-on-one, once again, Punk versus McIntyre 2. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a strap match. They will be tethered to one another by the wrists, a big leather strap in between them, and there is no escape from one another. These guys are going to have welts upon welts because they're going to be smacking the crap out of each other during this match for sure. This is a blood feud over a bracelet with the names of CM Punk's dog and his wife. I don't know how a bracelet has become almost more important than a championship, but lo and behold, WWE has booked it in such a way that this bracelet is one of the most important things in professional wrestling today, probably next to only the Ula Fala. I think I'm saying that right, or I might be saying that wrong. I apologize. The head, the necklace of the tribal chief, which is adorned by Solo Sikoa, that Roman Reigns is the rightful owner to on SmackDown. So it's like you got that on SmackDown, and then you have the bracelet here on Raw. So this has been such a great feud. Their match at SummerSlam was one of the best on the card, and I don't see this match being any different. This is going to be, I think it will live up to the hype for sure. It was cool of Michael Cole and Corey Graves to give tidbits about these guys' history in strap matches. Drew McIntyre was involved in one strap match about 2 years ago against Karrion Kross, and he lost that match. And then CM Punk has only been involved in one other strap match during his time in WWE, and that was against the late, great Umaga, and he was victorious in that match. So Drew is 0-1 in strap matches, while Punk is 1-0. So this match can go either way. I feel like I feel like for it to continue, because it will continue, because the working plan right now is for Punk and Drew to be the main event for October's Bad Blood pay-per-view, and that will cap off the feud, hopefully, because it should be contested inside of Hell in the Cell. Let me say it like Voldemort here. Hell in a Cell. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. So I feel like Punk should get the victory here in the strap match, which will then lead to the rubber match at Bad Blood in October. That's just what I'm thinking. But that's my pick for this match. I'm picking CM Punk to win the strap match in Berlin. So please, if you haven't already subscribed to Peacock or you feel like ordering it on pay-per-view, if you're internationally watching it, it's this coming Saturday. I wish I had start times for it because I know they're on a different time zone than us. I know it most likely it's going to be really early for us here in the United States, but I can't find a start time for it. I do apologize. If I find a start time, guys, I will post about it on social media platforms. So you'll see it on my X page, guys. Okay. And if that wasn't enough with this weekend, we also have this coming Sunday live from what city are they in? Live from the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. It will be NXT No Mercy. That's right. NXT No Mercy will be live from the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. And this will feature wrestlers contracted for TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. They got 2 TNA wrestlers on this NXT card, which is, I love this, man. This partnership between NXT and TNA has just been so fantastic, so entertaining, and it has led to some great moments that I think we are about to see. So this is the card for NXT No Mercy this coming Sunday, September 1st. Oh, shout out to Danny Mahan in the chat room. He said your impressions are spot on. I appreciate that, man. Thanks. Thanks. That's really cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. So these are the matches that have been set. It is a 6-match card for this coming Sunday, NXT's No Mercy. And we have for the NXT Women's Championship, Roxanne Perez defends the NXT Women's Championship against Jada Parker. This will be a great match showcasing 2 young talents in NXT. Roxanne Perez has been on a roll since regaining the NXT Women's Championship. I love her heel turn, because I mean she came out as a smiling babyface originally. I didn't, to be honest, I didn't think she had it in her to be a heel, but something about certain baby faces that seem like it can't be done. And then they just flip the script, and it's just like, oh, it was there this whole time. Like, you just had to unlock it. And I feel like Shawn Michaels, who runs NXT, is the head booker for NXT and head of creative, saw that in Roxanne, and he definitely has brought it out of her. And she's been very entertaining as a heel champion, as a heel wrestler on the NXT brand. And this will be I think this is going to really showcase her talent when the new breed of NXT women's wrestlers finally debut on the roster. I'm talking about WWE's newest signees, Delta, Stephanie Vakir, and Julia, which Julia this past weekend finished up her time in Marigold in Japan, and she's headed to the United States if she hasn't already arrived already. So maybe we might see an appearance by one of these new WWE superstars. We shall see. But my pick for this match is definitely Roxanne. She's going to retain her women's championship. Next match on the card, the NXT Women's North American Championship. Kalani Jordan defends the NXT Women's North American Championship against Wendy Chu. This new turn of Wendy Chu, where she's still sort of like the sleepy character, because that's what her character originally was like. She's sleepy, which was kind of goofy. Definitely, well, not kind of. It was very goofy. Now it's got some sort of dark turn where she's like evil sleepy. I don't really know how you be evil and sleepy, but it's just she's still wearing like pajamas, but she's got like this weird like Joker, like Harley Quinn like lipstick going on thing, and she's got like these dark circles around her eyes, and she's just like evil now. I don't really know. I mean, I like it. I think it's entertaining. And this past Tuesday night, well, yesterday, Kalani had a title defense against TNA's Rosemary, which was awesome to see Rosemary pop up on NXT television. And she had a great match with Kalani, which ended with Wendy Chu showing up out of nowhere and decimating Kalani. And Rosemary and Wendy Chu both had this weird, creepy stare down with each other. It's just like, give me goosebumps. But I think this should be a great match. I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and say maybe I know Jordan is very young in her reign as the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion, but I wouldn't be shocked if they gave the win and the title to Wendy Chu. So I'm going to just go on a limb here and say Wendy Chu wins the title this Sunday. Next match on the card, the NXT Men's North American Championship. Oba Femi, the unstoppable Oba Femi, defends the title against Tony D'Angelo of the D'Angelo family. Forget about it, huh? Tony D'Angelo going one-on-one with Oba Femi for the NXT North American Championship, and he's going to have the family in his corner, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Luca Crusofino, and Adriano Rizzo. They are the resident, the family of NXT, the Don. He is known as the Don of NXT. I don't know where I'm getting this accent from. I apologize. But this has been actually a pretty cool feud. Last night they had a very nice little backstage segment where D'Angelo going to his spot, his restaurant spot, and the waiter there is like, he's been waiting for you, and he's sitting at your table. And D'Angelo's like, who's sitting at my table, huh? Who's sitting at my table? And he goes and sees Oba Femi sitting there with the title resting on the table. And they have this really cool, macho versus macho, interaction with each other. It was very reminiscent. I hate to stereotype, but it was very reminiscent of an episode of The Sopranos or one of those mafia films like a Godfather or a Goodfellas, where this very tense conversation between two characters where it's not physical, but the verbiage there is just so you could just cut it with a knife. You know what I mean? It was just so thick. This should be a really good match. Oba has been unstoppable, and it will not stop with D'Angelo. I'm sorry. Oba Femi is retaining his title on Sunday. Next match on the card is a rematch for the NXT Tag Team titles. Chase University. Yes, Chase U. Andre Chase and Ridge Holland defend their newly won NXT Tag Team titles against the former champions Axiom and Nathan Frazier in a rematch. They were celebrating their victory with the class of Chase University last night in a backstage segment when they were interrupted by Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Basically hey, we're still owed a rematch, and so we're cashing it in, and we'll see you Sunday at NXT No Mercy. Hopefully this proves that this victory wasn't a fluke, and Andre Chase and Ridge Holland retain the NXT Tag Team titles. So I'm picking Chase University for this match. Chase U! This was unexpected, but has been very entertaining in a very short amount of time. I think these guys are going to steal the show at NXT No Mercy. Former friends, former members of the Rascals, former tag team known as MSK. Wesley goes one-on-one with his former brother, Zachary Wentz. Zachary Wentz and Wesley they were like this along with Trey Miguel as the Rascals, the trio, the Rascals. And then they signed to NXT, the two of them. They became two-time NXT Tag Team Champions. Unfortunately, Zachary Wentz was let go by the company due to some, controversy. And then with this partnership with TNA has brought the Rascals back together. We got to see them enjoying this nice little run together as a trio once again. They attempted to win the NXT Tag Team titles a few weeks back against Axiom and Nathan Frazier in a losing effort. And it was after this match that Wesley turned on his brothers, his Rascals. He turned on Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, decimating them, assaulting them, and leaving the ring. And social media blew up. Why, Wes? Why? And he said that he's the bigger star, that Zachary Wentz and the Rascals have been holding him down, and it's his time to shine. And Zachary Wentz can't believe that his brother broke his heart, and he's going to try to set things right with this match. And I think that these guys will have a barn burner, a show-stealing match. And I can't really pick a victor for this match, but if I had to say it's going to be Wes Lee walking out with the victory on this night. And then the main event, guys, I cannot wait. The main event for this match, for this night, NXT Championship match, and just announced by the NXT General Manager Ava, Trick Williams. Whoop that trick, whoop that trick. Oh yeah, man, whoop that trick. I like it. Whoop that trick. Trick Williams will be the special guest referee for this match. It will be Ethan Page, all ego, defending the NXT Championship against, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry of TNA gets his chance to become NXT champion on an NXT pay-per-view. That is crazy to me. Joe Hendry challenges Ethan Page for the NXT championship. Can you believe if Shawn Michaels and WWE pull the trigger and Joe Hendry walks out of Denver with the NXT championship? Can you imagine? He's one of the biggest viral sensations in professional wrestling today. He's one of the biggest popular wrestlers in the world today. Yes, Danny. Danny in the chat room, I believe, and so do I, sir. I believe it can be done. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, yes, I'm picking Joe Hendry to win the NXT championship this Sunday in Denver. Because can you imagine the social media explosion that this would create? Do you imagine all the views? They could break records because he already has the second most viewed, I think, if not the most viewed viral video on X and social media platforms for the WWE when he debuted on NXT just a few months ago. He even got more views than The Rock's return this year on day one. That's insane. That's insane. Joe Hendry, a TNA contracted wrestler, has got one of the biggest followings in professional wrestling today. The fans love his music. The fans love him in ring. And it would be tremendous to see Joe Hendry walk out of Denver with the NXT championship. Do I see it happening? I mean, crazier things have happened, right? Man, I'm like I said, I'm going out on a limb. I'm picking Joe Hendry to walk out as NXT champion. Let's take one more quick little break before I say adieu to you guys, and we'll be right back. I'll give out a little bit of wrestling news here before we say adieu, okay? Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Yins Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold and have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Welcome back, guys, to the IE Wrestling Show. Before we send you off, for the day here, I just want to say thank you for everyone who tuned in live here today on all social media platforms that we're streaming live on. My personal Facebook page, YouTube, X, the official IE Sports Radio pages of YouTube, the official YouTube channel of IE Sports Radio, and the official X page of IE Sports Radio, and the official IE Sports Radio Instagram page. So thank you guys for tuning in live for the IE Wrestling Show. So we got some breaking news here. I was literally about to pull up my news, and this was the first thing that popped up on my feed here, so I have to announce this. Breaking news. WWE will host the first ever episode of Raw live from Saudi Arabia. That's right. On Sunday, November 3rd. Well, not going to be live. It's going to be a taping. It will be Sunday, November 3rd that this will be taped to be shown on Monday night, the following day. As part of Riyadh season, the episode will be packed with huge names from both in and outside of the wrestling world. The taping follows Crown Jewel the day before and will be taped for international air that Monday. So that's going to be crazy to see. But so congratulations to that. That's big news for the WWE to have the first ever Raw broadcasted from Saudi Arabia. That's insane. You know what I mean? Because usually it's always like an event, like Crown Jewel or King of the Ring or whatever. So this is definitely a new thing here. That's literally, the only really big news item that I can really talk about at this moment. So let's go ahead and just call it a day, guys. Please follow me on X and TikTok at IE Wrestling Show. Boom, right there. And please do yourself a favor and follow IE Sports Radio on all social media platforms, X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And go on to our all of our podcast platforms if you can't watch us live. Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. They're all down here. Check them out. Go to IESportsRadio.com. Check out our merch shop so you can get one of these bad boys, the official IE Sports Radio logo T-shirt. Cop yourself one of them. Throw some shekels our way. Keep our lights on. And do yourself a favor and check out our official sponsors, Planet Jerky at planetjerky.net, 100% premium brisket beef jerky, and Seal the Deal wax seals. And go to our official website, iesportsradio.com/Seal the Deal wax seals to order them right now, guys. All right, guys, I have to say adieu for today. I do appreciate y'all tuning in to the IE Wrestling Show. I'll see you guys next week. Same SoCal Saint time, same SoCal Saint channel. I love you guys. Thanks, wrestling fans. I will see you guys next week. Take care, guys.